So this is the one. He hops by, and as he hops by, the breeze makes the flag blow.
Because he's in an air environment. He's not on the moon.
Right. That is a weird one. Do it again.
Did we really land on the moon? Or was it all just a Hollywood stunt? Billions watched Neil Armstrong take that giant leap for mankind, but what if it was staged? Now, newly surfaced footage is reigniting one of history's biggest conspiracies. Hold on to your space helmets, this one's going to blow your mind. This is supposed to be the most iconic mission in human history, but some say it's hiding a secret. And this so-called lost reel might finally prove it. Imagine this. You're the US government in the middle of the Cold War. The Soviets are ahead in space, pressure is sky high, and you need to win the race fast. So what do? You fake a moon landing with Stanley Kubrick? Hire actors? Or maybe just shoot everything on a soundstage? It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but millions believe it happened. And now, with new footage emerging, the mystery is back with a vengeance. The seeds of doubt were planted almost immediately after the historic broadcast. July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong steps onto the lunar surface, declares it a giant leap for mankind. Millions cheer, but not everyone is convinced. Some people notice strange shadows. Others wondered why the flag waved when there's no wind on the moon. And then came Bill Kaysing, the man who started it all. Kaysing wasn't just some random guy with a theory. He worked as a technical writer at Rocketdyne, a NASA contractor. In 1974, he published a self-published book titled, We Never Went to the Moon, America's $30 billion Swindle. Because nothing says credibility like a self-published book printed on paper thinner than a moon rock. But here's the thing, he made some compelling points. He argued that the Van Allen radiation belts would have fried the astronauts before they even left Earth. He said NASA didn't have the tech to safely land on the moon. And he claimed the whole thing was shot on a soundstage under artificial lighting. Think about it, the Vietnam War had just ended. Watergate was fresh in people's minds. Public trust in the government was at an all-time low. Was it so hard to believe the US would fake a moon landing to save face? What would you believe if you lived through that era? Would you trust the government or start questioning everything? Let me know in the comments, backhand index pointing down. Fast forward to 2001, enter Bart Sibrel, a filmmaker, conspiracy theorist, and self-described investigative journalist. His documentary, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon, reignited the firestorm. He claims the footage was faked using a rotating camera setup to mimic orbital motion. He argues that the astronauts weren't even on the moon, they were orbiting Earth. One of his most controversial claims? That NASA created a fake radio delay to make it seem like the astronauts were halfway to the moon. They'd record their voices, play them back with a delay, and voila. Instant interstellar illusion. Does that sound plausible? Or does it sound like someone watching too much The X-Files? Drop your thoughts below. But it wasn't just theories. In 2002, Sibrel confronted Buzz Aldrin in public. He demanded Aldrin swear on the Bible that he walked on the moon. Aldrin punched him. Collision. No charges were filed. And many thought he had every right to. But Sibrel doubled down. He later said, I don't blame him for hitting me, I was out of line. But I still believe he didn't go. To his supporters, he's a truth seeker. To critics, he's a provocateur. Either way, he kept the conversation alive. Now, let's talk visuals. One of the biggest pieces of evidence cited by doubters? The photos and videos taken on the moon. Why do the shadows fall in different directions? Why can you see everything in the shade when there's no atmosphere? NASA explains that the moon's surface reflects sunlight, creating natural fill light. But skeptics argue this looks more like studio lighting. And let's not forget the waving American flag. United States dashing away. No wind on the moon, but hey, maybe it's just doing the moonwalk. NASA says the flag had a horizontal rod across the top to keep it unfurled. The movement seen was caused by twisting the pole during setup. But to doubters, it looked suspiciously like fabric caught in a breeze. Could this be proof of a hoax or just physics being misunderstood? Have you ever tried to explain physics to someone who doesn't want to hear it? Drop a spaceship emoji if you've been there. Now get ready for the weirdest twist yet. Stanley Kubrick. Movie camera exploding head. Yes, that Kubrick, the genius behind 2001: A Space Odyssey. According to some, NASA secretly hired him to direct the fake moon landing. They say his mastery of special effects made him the perfect candidate. Ever watch The Shining and wonder why Danny wears an Apollo 11 sweater? Coincidence or confession? To this day, fans dissect his films looking for clues. Is The Shining actually Kubrick's moon landing apology letter? In 2015, a viral video falsely claimed to show a deathbed confession from Kubrick admitting he filmed the moon landing. Spoiler alert, it was a hoax. Grinning face with sweat. Do you think Kubrick could have pulled it off? Or is this just another case of overactive fandoms reading into every frame? Let me know in the comments. Another recurring claim centers on the Van Allen radiation belts, 2 layers of charged particles trapped by Earth's magnetic field. They couldn't even leave orbit. They'd be space soup before takeoff. But NASA and Dr. James Van Allen himself said the exposure time was too short to cause harm. Still, to doubters, this remains a smoking gun. What if they did pass through, but something went wrong? What if they never left Earth orbit at all? Would you risk your life flying through invisible radiation zones? Let me know how brave you'd be in that situation. Then came 2006, when NASA dropped a bombshell. The original high-quality tapes of the moon landing were gone. Lost. Reused. No big deal, right? They claim they reused the tapes for other missions. But critics say this was the final nail in the coffin, proof something was being hidden. Imagine if today, NASA lost the original Mars rover footage. People would flip. So, why didn't they preserve the most important footage in history? Did they lose it? Or did they erase it? Drop your guesses below, backhand index pointing down. So, did we land on the moon? Or did we buy into one of the greatest hoaxes of all time? Either way, the debate shows no sign of slowing down. And with every new leak, every blurry clip, the mystery only grows. Maybe the real story isn't whether we landed on the moon. It's about how we, as humans, process truth, myth, and the unknown. What if one day someone finds that missing tape? What if it proves once and for all that we were there, or that we weren't? Would you believe it if it showed up tomorrow? Or would you say it's just another piece of the puzzle? Speech balloon, what do you think? Was it real, or was it a show? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, backhand index pointing down. If you loved this deep dive into space-age secrets, hit that like button, thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe bell, because the truth is out there, and we're not done digging.